Blood drained from my face as I watched her pour white powder into his coffee. "Accidents happen, darling," she whispered into her phone, stirring slowly. "Especially to men who trust the wrong woman." She was killing him. Right now. And I was the only one who could stop it. Before we dive into this insane story, please subscribe and hit that bell. Trust me, you'll want to see how this ends. Comment what city you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. Now, let me tell you how an invisible janitor became a murder witness and accidentally fell in love with a billionaire. My name is Elena Martinez, and for 3 years, I'd been a ghost. At 26, working as a janitor in Manhattan's most prestigious skyscraper, you learn that survival means silence. When executives earn more in an hour than you make in a month, you become invisible. A shadow. Furniture that breathes. But that Thursday afternoon, everything shattered. "You really think someone like you matters?" Victoria Sterling's voice dripped with venom as she stared down at me. I was on my knees, scrubbing her spilled latte from the marble floor on the 23rd floor of Whitmore Industries. Her Louboutin heels, red soles screaming money, clicked as she circled me like a predator. "You're nothing but furniture with a pulse. Invisible." My hands trembled around the soaked rag. 3 years of pre-dawn bus rides from the Bronx. 3 years of swallowing humiliation. 3 years of being nobody. Did you hear me? Or are you deaf, as well as useless? Something cracked inside my chest. Not anger. Something worse. The devastating confirmation that maybe she was right. Victoria laughed, already forgetting I existed as she walked away, her phone pressed to her ear. "Darling, I'm coming up." "Yes, Cameron's in meetings all afternoon. We have time." I should have stayed broken. Should have finished cleaning and disappeared. But that evening, fate had different plans. 7 o'clock. The executive floor was nearly empty when Mrs. Park begged me to cover Sandra's shift. The hallways stretched cold and silent, automatic lights flickering on as I pushed my squeaking cart past glass walls. I looked like a ghost in those reflections. Tired eyes, hunched shoulders, dreams buried so deep I'd forgotten they existed. That's when I heard Victoria's voice drifting from an office with a carelessly cracked door. "He can't know about us, baby. Be more careful." I froze. My cartwheel squeaked once, sharp in the silence. She kept talking, her voice dropping to a purr that made my skin crawl. "Just until the wedding. Once the inheritance transfers to joint control." A laugh like breaking glass. "Then we eliminate the problem." My heart stopped. Every instinct screamed danger. "The first dose goes in his coffee tomorrow morning." Nothing dramatic, just enough to make him weak, confused. "Over 3 months, it'll look like stress, exhaustion. By the time we're married, he'll be so sick." Her voice turned cold. "Accidents happen to men who work too hard." Oh my God. She was planning to poison him. Slowly, deliberately. "Keep being the patient secret boyfriend, Marcus. I'll handle boring Cameron. 90 days and we'll have $3 billion. I needed to run. Needed to disappear. But when I stepped backward, my cart crashed into the wall with a sound like thunder. The conversation died. "Someone's there," Victoria hissed. "I have to go." Footsteps. Coming fast. Heels clicking like gunshots. I grabbed my cart and ran. Actually ran. My heart hammering so hard it hurt. The wheels screamed against marble as I rounded the corner, diving into the supply closet seconds before Victoria's silhouette appeared, her eyes scanning the hallway like a hunter tracking prey. Hidden among mops and industrial cleaners, my hand pressed against my mouth to muffle my ragged breathing. One question pounded through my skull. What the hell do I do now? Because Victoria Sterling wasn't just some executive. She was engaged to Cameron Whitmore, 32 years old, devastatingly handsome, heir to a $3 billion empire, and completely oblivious that his fiancée was planning to poison him starting tomorrow morning. And somehow, impossibly, I was the only person who knew. That night, I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard her voice. "The first dose goes in his coffee tomorrow morning." Tomorrow. As in, In 8 hours. I paced my tiny Bronx studio until 3 a.m., my mind at war with itself. The rational part screamed to stay quiet. Mind your business, Elena. You're nobody. Who would believe a janitor over Manhattan's socialite queen? But another voice whispered back, the voice of my father, who'd worked himself to death for people who never learned his name. The voice of every invisible person who'd been crushed by the powerful. Tomorrow morning, she would start poisoning him. And if I did nothing, I'd be complicit in murder. At 4 a.m., I made my decision. I had to warn him. Somehow. Before it was too late. By 5:30 a.m., I was on the bus to Manhattan, rehearsing what I'd say. Mr. Whitmore, your fiancée is planning to kill you. Too insane. I have urgent information. Too vague. Please don't drink the coffee she brings you. Too specific without context. I arrived at Whitmore Industries at 6:45 a.m. and went straight to the executive floor. Cameron's office was dark, empty. He usually arrived by 7. I had 15 minutes. My hands shook as I pulled out a piece of paper and wrote, "Do not drink anything Victoria Sterling gives you. Your life is in danger. She is poisoning your coffee. This is not a joke. Check the cup before drinking." Someone who overheard her plan. I folded it, wrote urgent, private, Mr. Whitmore only on the outside, and placed it on his keyboard where he couldn't miss it. Then I ran. I made it to the third-floor bathroom before my legs gave out. Sitting in a stall, shaking, I realized what I'd just done. If he believed me, I might save his life. If he didn't, I'd just written my termination letter. But at least I'd tried. At 7:15 a.m., I heard commotion from the executive floor. Voices. Urgent. Security. My heart sank. He'd shown someone the note. They were looking for the crazy person who'd written it. I hid in the supply closet until my shift started at 8 a.m., then tried to work normally while my entire world crumbled. At 9:30 a.m., Mrs. Park found me. "Elena, Mr. Whitmore wants to see you in his office." Now, this was it. I was fired. Possibly arrested for making threats. The walk to the executive floor felt like a death march. Security escorted me. Other employees stared. By tomorrow, everyone would know. The janitor who lost her mind and harassed the CEO. Cameron's office door was closed. Security knocked, then pushed me inside. He stood by the window, his back to me. Tall, broad shoulders in a perfectly tailored suit. When he turned, those ice-blue eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that made me forget to breathe. "Close the door," he said quietly. Security left us alone. Silence stretched between us. He held my note in his hand. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I know how crazy it sounds, but I swear I'm telling the truth. Last night I heard." "Victoria brought me coffee this morning," he interrupted. His voice was eerily calm, like she does every morning. She was very insistent I drink it while it was hot. My blood turned to ice. "But I didn't," he continued, "because of this note. Instead, I had it tested." He placed a document on his desk. "Preliminary results came back 20 minutes ago. Arsenic. Small dose. Undetectable, without specific testing. Exactly the right amount to cause chronic symptoms without immediate death." Oh my God. I was right. She'd actually done it. So now, Cameron's eyes pinned me like a butterfly to a board. "I need you to tell me everything. Who are you? And how did you know?" The story poured out of me. The overheard phone call. The murder plan. The 3-month timeline. Marcus Thornton. Everything. Cameron listened without interrupting, his expression unreadable. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "You saved my life," he said finally. "A woman I've never met risked her job, possibly her safety, to save a stranger." "You're not a stranger," I said without thinking. "I've cleaned your office every Friday for 3 years." Something flickered across his face. Surprise? Shame? 3 years, and I never noticed you. People like you don't notice people like me. That's how the world works. That's how the world is broken," he corrected. His eyes softened. "Elena Martinez," He'd read my name from the security report on his desk. Thank you. I owe you my life. You don't owe me anything. I just did what was right, which is more than most people would do. He moved closer. But there's a problem. Victoria can't know that I know. If she suspects, she'll disappear. Her boyfriend, too. I need evidence that will hold up in court. What are you going to do? With your help. He smiled, and it transformed his entire face. I'm going to catch a murderer. The plan was terrifying and brilliant. Cameron would pretend nothing was wrong. Keep drinking the coffee Victoria brought, except he'd swap it with clean coffee when she wasn't looking. He'd act progressively weaker, confused, exactly as the poison would make him, give Victoria false confidence. Meanwhile, we'd gather evidence, track her movements, record conversations, build an airtight case. She threatened you, Cameron said. If she realizes you heard that phone call, you're in danger. I can handle myself. Elena. His voice went soft. She's planning to murder me for money. What do you think she'd do to a witness? He had a point. I'm assigning you a security detail. Discreet. You won't even notice them. I can't afford. You're not paying. You saved my life. Let me protect yours. Over the next 3 weeks, I became part of an undercover investigation. Me, Elena Martinez, the invisible janitor who'd stumbled into a murder plot. The first week was surveillance. I documented everything. Every coffee Victoria brought Cameron. Every smile that didn't reach her eyes. I photographed her meeting Marcus at a Soho cafe, their hands intertwined while she wore Cameron's ring. Evidence. Cold, hard, damning. Cameron and I met late nights in his office to coordinate. He'd order food, insisting I eat first. We'd spread evidence across his desk, building our case. You're exhausted, Cameron said one midnight. Working 2 jobs, your regular shifts, plus this investigation. I can handle it. You shouldn't have to. He pushed a check across the desk. Your new salary. Operations consultant position. Starting tomorrow. The amount made my breath catch. Cameron, I can't. You've found patterns 3 professional investigators missed. This isn't charity. It's payment for exceptional work. Somewhere between late-night strategy sessions and shared takeout, something shifted between us. Every time you walk into a room, my heart rate increases, he admitted one night. Every time you smile, I forget what I was saying. Cameron, don't. Why not? Because when this is over, you'll go back to your world, and I'll go back to mine. You're the bravest person I've ever met, he said softly. Brilliant, honest, real. That's rarer than any fortune, Elena. His thumb brushed my cheek, and I couldn't breathe. When this is over, I'm going to ask you out properly. Show you this is real. Not gratitude. Real. Then my phone buzzed. Victoria was in the building. We sprang apart. I ran for the back stairwell just as her heels clicked into his office. But the real danger came 3 days later. Following Victoria to a Queen's pharmacy, I felt eyes on me. That prickle at the back of your neck. A man in a dark jacket across the street, staring directly at me. He started walking toward me. Fast. I ran through alleys and shortcuts, my heart hammering. He followed. I jumped on a subway train, just as doors closed. Through the window, I saw him on the platform, phone to his ear, watching me escape. When I got home, a note under my door. Stop following her. Final warning. Victoria knew. And she'd sent someone to scare me off. Or worse. I called Cameron immediately, my voice trembling as I told him everything. Pack a bag, he said, his voice tight with controlled fury. You're moving into my building. Top floor, full security, non-negotiable. Cameron, I can't just, Elena, his voice cracked. If something happens to you because you helped me, I'll never forgive myself. Please, let me protect you. So I moved into a luxury apartment that cost more per month than I used to make in a year. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park. Doorman. Security. A world so far from my Bronx studio it felt like another planet. But I couldn't enjoy it. Because Victoria was getting desperate, and desperate people were dangerous. The breaking point came during week 4. Cameron had been pretending to get sicker, dizzy spells, confusion, weakness, playing his role perfectly. But Victoria wasn't satisfied with the pace. I was tracking her with a full security team now, when she met Marcus at that Brooklyn pharmacy again. This time, I got close enough to hear fragments of their conversation through the wire I was wearing. Not working fast enough. Stronger dose. 2 weeks, he'll be dead. My blood turned to ice. She was escalating. The new poison could actually kill him. I texted Cameron immediately. Urgent. She's buying stronger poison. This could kill you for real. His response came fast. Then we end this. Tomorrow morning. Final play. Be ready. That night, I couldn't sleep. I paced my borrowed luxury apartment, watching the city lights blur through tears I didn't remember crying. What if something went wrong? What if Victoria suspected the trap? What if Cameron died because I'd convinced him to confront her? At 2 a.m., my phone rang. Cameron, can't sleep either? His voice was rough with exhaustion. Terrified, I admitted. Me too. Silence stretched between us. Comfortable, despite the fear. Elena, if something goes wrong tomorrow, nothing will go wrong. But if it does, I need you to know something. He took a breath. These past 4 weeks with you have been the best of my life. Not because of the investigation, because of you. Your laugh when you think nobody's listening. The way you hum while organizing files. How you notice when I'm stressed and order my favorite food without asking. You've made me feel more alive than I've felt in years. Tears streamed down my face. Cameron, I know it's terrible timing. I know tomorrow is dangerous. But I needed you to know. Just in case. Nothing's going to happen, I said fiercely. We're going to catch her. Together. And then you're taking me on that proper date you promised. He laughed softly. Is that a yes? That's a, let's survive tomorrow first. I can work with that. We stayed on the phone until sunrise, talking about everything and nothing. Our childhoods, our dreams, the people we'd lost, the futures we wanted. By the time dawn broke over Manhattan, I knew one truth with absolute certainty. I was in love with Cameron Whitmore. And tomorrow, we were going to bring down the woman who'd tried to destroy him. But I reminded myself, this was temporary. Once Victoria was arrested, Cameron would return to his world, and I'd have to find my place in mine. Billionaires didn't fall for janitors outside of fairy tales. Except fairy tales don't include the moment when everything goes horribly, perfectly wrong. Week 4. Victoria was getting impatient. Cameron's symptoms were progressing perfectly, but she wanted faster results. I was following her from a safe distance, with security backup, when she met Marcus at a pharmacy in Brooklyn. Through the window, I watched her purchase something. The pharmacist looked nervous. Money changed hands under the table. She was buying more poison. A stronger dose. I texted Cameron immediately. She's escalating. This could kill you. His response. Then we move now. Tomorrow morning. Be ready. The next day, Cameron called Victoria to his office. I waited in the adjacent conference room, wearing a wire, surrounded by his lawyers and 2 police detectives. My hands trembled. This was it. Darling, you wanted to see me? Victoria's voice came through crystal clear, saccharine sweet. I'm not feeling well, Cameron said, his acting flawless. Weak, confused, dizzy, nauseous. The doctors can't figure out what's wrong. Oh, sweetheart. False concern dripped from every word. You've been working too hard. Here, I brought your favorite coffee. Drink this. You'll feel better. My stomach turned. Even now, she was trying to poison him. Actually, Victoria, I need to ask you something. A pause. Tension crackling through the wire. Of course, darling. Anything. Do you love me? The silence stretched. Then, what kind of question is that? Of course I love you. Why would you even ask? Because I need to know if the woman I'm about to marry actually cares about me, or if she's just here for the money. Cameron, you're not making sense. Are you sure you're all right? You sound paranoid. Then help me understand something. His voice turned cold. Clinical. I had my coffee tested. Every cup you've brought me for the past month. Want to guess what they found? The silence was deafening. That's impossible. Someone must have. This is insane. Cameron, you need to see a doctor. You're clearly having some kind of breakdown. Arsenic, he continued, relentless. Progressive doses. Exactly calculated to kill me slowly without arousing suspicion. Professional-grade poison that mimics natural illness. Should I continue? I don't know what you're talking about. But her voice cracked. Panic bleeding through the perfect facade. Then explain the pharmacy receipts. The text messages with Marcus Thornton, your boyfriend, by the way. 3 months until payday. Just keep the doses steady. Soon he'll be too sick to question anything. Paper rustled. Want me to read more? You're insane. You're making this up. I'll call your mother. She needs to know you're having delusions. Is that why you told Marcus that accidents happen to men who work too hard and don't watch what they eat? Because I have that recording too. Every conversation, every plan, every detail of how you were going to murder me and take $3 billion, a sound like a sob or rage. The mask was cracking. You can't prove anything. Without witnesses, it's your word against mine. I'll say you're paranoid, mentally unstable. No jury will. You want to know the truth? Her voice transformed, all sweetness gone, replaced by venom. Fine. Yes, I was poisoning you. Yes, I planned to take your money and disappear with the man I actually love. Because you're boring, Cameron. Boring and self-righteous, and so stupidly, pathetically trusting. In the conference room, the detectives leaned forward. This was it. Full confession. You never even noticed when I started replacing your vitamins with arsenic. Never questioned why I was suddenly so devoted, bringing you coffee every morning. You were too busy being the noble billionaire to see what was right in front of you. She laughed, bitter and sharp. You deserve this. And what about Elena Martinez? Cameron's voice stayed steady. The janitor who overheard your phone call? My blood froze. Why was he bringing me into this? That little mouse? Victoria spat. I should have dealt with her immediately. Had her taken care of. Because accidents happen to invisible people too, Cameron. Nobody would even miss a... The door burst open. Victoria Sterling, you're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and fraud. Her scream echoed through the entire floor. No! You can't, this is entrapment! He tricked me! Cameron! Through the conference room window, I watched police restrain her. Designer dress wrinkled, perfect makeup running with tears and rage. The carefully constructed illusion shattered completely. Marcus was arrested simultaneously at his apartment, both facing decades in prison. I watched through the conference room window as police led her away in handcuffs, her perfect makeup running with tears, her designer dress wrinkled from struggling. Marcus was arrested simultaneously at his apartment. It was over. Cameron found me standing by the window, shaking so hard I could barely stand. You did it, I whispered. You got her. We did it. He moved closer. Elena, I need you to understand something. When she threatened you in that recording, when she said nobody would miss you, his jaw tightened. I would have missed you. I would have torn the world apart looking for you. My heart stopped. Cameron, I know the timing is terrible. I know this is complicated. But over these past 4 weeks, you've become the most important person in my life. You're brave and brilliant, and you see through all the bullshit to what actually matters. You saved my life, and then you changed it. You're my boss, and you're a billionaire, and you're extraordinary, he interrupted. Your job title doesn't define you. Money doesn't define me. What defines us is this. He took my hand. The fact that I feel more myself with you than I've ever felt with anyone. The fact that you make me want to be better. The fact that I'm falling in love with you. Tears streamed down my face. This is crazy. Is it? You stopped a murder. We caught a killer. After all that, is falling in love really the craziest thing we could do? I laughed through my tears. When you put it that way. Have dinner with me. A real date. Let me prove that this is real. I should have said no. Should have protected my heart. But standing there, looking into eyes that saw me as more than invisible, I found myself nodding. Okay. Dinner. That dinner turned into breakfast the next morning. And lunch. And 1,000 moments in between that taught me what love actually felt like. The media went insane when we went public. Billionaire falls for former janitor. The coverage was relentless. Tabloids called me a gold digger, opportunist, social climber. They're right, I told Cameron one night, scrolling through vicious comments. I don't belong in your world. He took my phone away. Look at me. You risked everything to save a stranger. You stood up to a murderer. You've transformed my company. If the world can't see that, the world is blind. Your mother thinks I'm using you. My mother thought Victoria was perfect. Her judgment is questionable. He cupped my face. I don't care what anyone thinks. I love you. You love me? Desperately. He smiled. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I kissed him. I love you too. Even though you hum off-key in meetings, I do not. You absolutely do. Cameron offered me a real position at Whitmore Industries. This isn't about us, he told the board. It's about her talent. I said yes, terrified of failing publicly. I didn't fail. Within 6 months, I'd saved the company $3.2 million. Within a year, senior manager. Within 2 years, VP. Not because I was dating the former CEO, because I was damn good at my job. Cameron stepped down to pursue architecture. His first project, a Bronx community center, where invisible people could be seen. You're building this because of me, I said, crying over the plans. Because of us, he corrected. You showed me what really matters. Victoria's trial was a spectacle. 25 years for attempted murder. Marcus got 20. The day of sentencing, Victoria looked at me from across the courtroom. This is your fault, she mouthed. I saved a life, I mouthed back. Including my own. Cameron proposed at Bethesda Fountain 6 months later. Our first real date spot. The place where we'd decided that maybe 2 different worlds could collide and create something beautiful. It was sunset. Gold light painted the fountain, the angel statue glowing. Tourists everywhere. But Cameron didn't care. Elena Martinez, he said, dropping to one knee while camera phones clicked. You saved my life. Then you changed it. Then you made it worth living. You taught me that courage looks like a scared woman choosing to speak up anyway. That love is choosing someone real over someone perfect. You are the bravest, most extraordinary person I've ever met. He pulled out a ring. Simple. Stunning. So perfectly us. Will you marry me? I was crying too hard to speak. Nodding frantically. Yes. Always yes. 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring on my shaking finger, then stood and spun me around while tourists cheered, and someone started playing At Last on a portable speaker. Perfect. Messy. Public. Completely us. We married 8 months later at that same fountain. 50 people. Mrs. Park sobbing happy tears in the front row. My mother healthy again. Cameron's parents surprisingly supportive. Simple vows that made everyone cry. You saw me when I was invisible, I said through tears. You made me believe I deserved to be seen. I choose you, Cameron Whitmore. Every day. Forever. His vows destroyed me. You taught me that courage is a woman scrubbing floors who still finds strength to save a stranger. That love isn't finding someone perfect. It's finding someone real. I choose you, Elena. Today. Tomorrow. Always. When the officiant pronounced us married, Cameron dipped me dramatically, kissed me while our guests cheered. Someone's boombox played Etta James. Tourists clapped. Messy. Perfect. Ours. Sophia Grace arrived 3 years later, on a Tuesday morning. 7 pounds of absolute miracle. The delivery was intense, 20 hours of labor that Cameron stayed through every second of, holding my hand, whispering encouragement, refusing to leave even when I screamed at him. When they finally placed her in my arms, The world stopped. She's so small, Cameron whispered, terrified. What if I break her? You won't, I promised, exhausted and overwhelmingly happy, tears streaming down both our faces. You're going to be an amazing father. We're going to be amazing parents, he corrected, carefully taking Sophia from the nurse with shaking hands. Look at her, Elena. We made this. We made something beautiful out of all that darkness, out of murder plots and poison and fear. We made her. I watched my husband cradle our daughter, his eyes filled with wonder and terror and pure love, and I understood grace in a way I never had before. Second chances, new beginnings, the extraordinary courage of ordinary choices that change everything. What are you thinking? Cameron asked softly, gently rocking Sophia. I'm thinking about that night I heard Victoria's phone call. How close I came to staying quiet because I was scared. If I had, my voice broke. We wouldn't have this. You'd be dead. I'd still be invisible. This perfect moment wouldn't exist. Best decision you ever made? Second best. I smiled through tears. Best was saying yes when you asked me to dinner. Third best was marrying me? Obviously. He laughed, and Sophia made a small sound, and my heart felt so full I thought it might burst. This was it. This was everything. Not the money or the title or the penthouse. This. Love. Family. Purpose. Today, 10 years later, Sophia tugs my sleeve at the community center ribbon cutting. Mommy, why does your office photo show you in a janitor uniform? Other parents might lie. Hide the shameful parts. Not me. I kneel to her level. Because that's who I was when I did the bravest thing ever. I was invisible, scared, nobody special, but I chose to speak up anyway. That choice changed everything. Were you really a janitor? The best janitor ever, Cameron says, joining us. Silver in his hair now. Laugh lines carved by years of genuine smiles. A man who found his purpose. And now? Sophia asks, curious. Now I help people. I run programs that give janitors' kids scholarships. Make sure invisible people get seen. I tap her nose. Because everyone matters. Baby girl. Everyone deserves to be seen. Even me? Especially you. You're the proof that choosing courage over fear creates miracles. Cameron scoops her up. She giggles, and I watch my family with wonder. We built this from poison and death threats. From impossible collisions. From one invisible woman's choice. Mrs. Park finds us after. Retired. Comfortable. I always knew you were special, Elena. Even when you were scrubbing toilets. You never treated me like furniture. That mattered more than you know. From mop to millions, she says, gesturing at everything I've become. From courage to purpose. I correct gently. The millions were just a bonus. That night, after Sophia's asleep, Cameron pulls me close by our penthouse windows. City lights blur below like fallen stars. Happy anniversary, Mrs. Whitmore. We got married in June. It's October. Anniversary of the day you left that note on my desk. The day you saved my life. 10 years ago today, a scared janitor changed everything. I'd forgotten, but he remembered. Of course he did. Best decade of my life. I murmur against his chest. Second best, he corrects, kissing my hair. Best is still ahead. We've got decades more. Watching Sophia grow, building more centers, helping more invisible people find their voice. You really believe that? I believe we've already proven impossible things happen. That invisible girls become unstoppable. That courage matters more than status. That one moment of bravery can transform everything. He tilts my chin up, those ice blue eyes intense. You taught me that. Every single day, you teach me that. I kiss him. Soft, sweet, grateful. My name is Elena Whitmore. I used to be a ghost, a shadow, furniture that breathed. Now I'm a guardian, mother, leader, a woman who knows her worth because she chose to prove it when it mattered most. All because one Thursday night, I heard a murder plot and decided some lives are worth risking everything for, even my own. That's how you change a life. One brave choice. One moment of courage when silence would be easier. one decision to speak truth when fear screams to stay quiet. I was invisible, now I'm unforgettable. And if I can do it, if a scared janitor from the Bronx can save a life, catch a killer, and build an empire of purpose, then anyone can. That's the real message. Not rags to riches, not Cinderella stories. It's this. Your voice matters. Your courage counts. Your choice to speak up when others stay silent can change everything. So speak up. Stand up. Choose bravery over fear. Because you never know that one moment of courage might just save a life. Or transform to the end.